Survey says 7 more retailers close at San Francisco's biggest mall as foreclosure auction is delayed again. I didn't know there were 7 retailers left in this mall. It's incredible. The doom loop continues. Let's see who's leaving. Here we go. Doesn't it look nice? Doesn't it look peaceful there? That's someplace you want to go and just kind of go hang out and look at the architecture. I mean, this used to be an epic place to go shopping. Now nobody goes there because there's no stores there. I've been covering store closures, probably a podcast a month, something like that for the last 6 months, because that's how many stores have gone. And I got a bonus track for you because it's not just these 7. There's one more that's decided, we're done as well. That came out after this article that was written just a week ago. 7 more retailers have closed at San Francisco Centre. It's the old Westfield Mall, the city's biggest mall, adding to a relentless exodus. Man, it has been, as Bloomingdale's prepares to depart, emptying the downtown destination's largest active retail space. And now what we're seeing is that businesses that are leaving, specifically this mall, remember this used to be because you got street conditions that are just horrific. Now they've cleaned that up a little bit. You still don't have the businesses in downtown. You've still got an exorbitant vacancy rate. None of that has really changed. But what you're seeing, and we'll read about it as we go here, what you're seeing is some of these tenants are saying, okay, yeah, we can't do the Westfield Mall anymore, but we still want to have a presence in the area because this is the shopping district. So we're going to scooch down the road just a little bit. We're going to go down to Union Square or somewhere close to there, because they think, all right, well, this is a long-term bet. It's what we're doing. It's just that Westfield Mall is in such disarray, got so bad that in 2023, the owners basically stopped paying the mortgage on the actual mall complex itself. And it's been taken over by a lender. And now they're trying to figure out, how do we get this off our hands? It's hot potato with the Westfield Mall. Luxury watch brands Rolex and its Bucherer, is that right? I don't know, division, along with Richmont's Panerai and IWC watch brands, have all recently shuttered 4 separate stores. Apparel store Psycho Bunny is gone. Not Psycho Bunny. What is that Psycho Bunny anyway? There's one in Bellevue Square here. I think it's clothes. Ish. I don't know. There are so many stores now that I'm like, never heard of it. Probably if I haven't heard of it, probably don't need much there. But I don't have endless loads of money to just waste on nonsense. But, that's beside the point. Psycho Bunny is gone, as is Sunglass Hut. I like a good Sunglass Hut. If you are, on vacation and, you don't want to do the $15 sunglasses from 7-Eleven that I love, those are up to like $19.99 now. Get yourself a good pair of sunglasses at your local Chevron or 7-Eleven. They're fine. You sit on them. It's not a problem. But if you got to get a good pair, Sunglasses Hut, it's like, all right, they're going to have my beloved Ray-Bans at Sunglasses Hut. According to the mall's online directory, gaming keyboard and mouse maker Razer also closed on Monday. You've just got closed, just happening. San Francisco Examiner first reported the closures as well as the impending closures of Kate Spade and Center's Coach, both owned by Tapestry Incorporated, on April 11th. Oh, yeah. It's just one after another. So literally these closures are happening because the mall itself is in such a death spiral. I mean, that's the only way that you can really look at it. Those 2 stores have been also removed from the mall's online directory. Some smaller merchants, such as a chair massage store. Is it really a store? I mean, you go in there, chair massagers, okay? And a cell phone repair kiosk also appear to have closed. There is nobody there. You watch these videos and like Metal Leo, and you're like, wow, it is really dead in this mall. really dead in this mall. I need to get down there before it makes its recovery, right? I mean, it's probably going to be a while. Plunging foot traffic after the pandemic prompted owners Westfield and Brookfield to stop paying their mortgage in the mall in 2023. As you do, there's not enough tenants here to cover rent. We're going to stop. Mall's ownership will continue to remain in limbo. A foreclosure auction scheduled for last week was delayed for the fourth time until June 17th. You've always got somebody popping up with, well, we think that we've got investor funding for this portion of the mezzanine debt or whatever it might be, right? And the judge doesn't want to go to the foreclosure auction unless they absolutely have to. And they're going to give every ability for anybody who wants to take a run at it, or the lawyers dwell on small details. This piece of paperwork wasn't in line, so therefore we got to delay. And attorneys get to bill hours, and life is good, right? I mean, unless you're paying for the attorney. Sorry, all my attorney folks out there, but it's true, right? Spokesperson for the mall's management, Trident Pacific, didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Your mall is emptied out. What would you like to say to the viewers? What are you going to say? Well, the mall's empty. It sucks. There's poop in the elevator. I don't know. What else is there to say? Now, you can't, we all know the drill. Bloomingdale's will be an even bigger loss as it prepares to close its 330,000 square foot store. Now, this is a 1.5 million square foot mall. It's big mall, biggest mall in San Francisco. And it is literally creating its own spiral into oblivion. By far the largest remaining tenant in the 1.5 million square foot mall. Bloomingdale is out of there, which includes office space. Michael Kors is also closing, and Burke Williams Spa is shuttering at the end of the month. Nordstrom closed its 312,000 square foot store in August 2023. Retailers have been departing the downtown shopping center regularly for the last 2 years, and we have covered almost every single closure because this is evidence after evidence after evidence that you can't have street conditions and you can't have conditions surrounding a mall that's gone through the pandemic. You can't have that. Downtown Seattle, downtown Portland, exact same drill, and many other areas throughout the United States where they defunded their police, just kind of let hell break loose on the streets. And come to find out, when you've got homeless folks pooping on the elevator going from the parking garage up to the main stores, normal patrons don't really, they're not on board with that. They're just like, oof, no, this is a hard no-go for us. So all these businesses have pulled out, and now businesses are pulling out just because other businesses are pulled out because nobody's there. Nobody's going shopping. Nobody is saying, hey, it's a nice Saturday. Let's take the family to the mall. They're not going there because they don't want to deal with folks outside. They don't want to deal with the nut jobs that might come through the mall. Nobody knows. And there's no stores open. So what incentive do they have to go there? They don't. Although I honestly think just outside of this mall, a little bit further to the north and to the east, the commercial market is changing dramatically because now big companies can come in and buy their own office building. Things have gotten that cheap. You got some 60, 70, 80, 90% discounts on big commercial buildings in San Francisco that long term, those are going to be great bets. Those are going to be some of the buys of the century. Because you're never going to have a situation like this happen again in this time period. You just got to have the balls to step out and buy one of these buildings knowing, okay, for the next decade or so or whatever it is, street conditions are still going to be tough. But if you can make a go of it with whatever, putting your company in there, getting a few tenants in there, whatever tenants are running around. They're saying that AI is coming in hard into San Francisco. We'll just have to see how hard that is. But if you buy a commercial building there now, I honestly think that is money. I think that's money because there's a point at which things get so cheap, and we are at that now where why rent when you can buy an entire complex, put other tenants in space, you've got your rent covered, and you're going to pick up some pretty big equity. This is not rocket science. This is what happens in every ebb and flow. And in this one, you've got some real artificial ebb and flow, because if you got leadership that's like, no, we're just going to let our homeless population that's whacked out on drugs, that should be in a mental institution, we're just going to let them mill around, and it should be fine. Well, it could go wrong. Although Rolex and Richmond have closed in the mall, they've invested in nearby Union Square. Rolex recently opened a showroom with Kern's Fine Jewelry at 255 Post Street. Super nearby, but it doesn't have that deal that the mall has. Doesn't have that bad juju, that bad vibe that nobody wants to go to. And you want to go to the Westfield Mall? No. And Richmond's A. Lang and Son division opened at 140 Geary Street, super close. Separately, Breitling opened its own watch store last year at 299 Post Street. You've still got people in San Francisco that want to drop incredible amounts of money on ridiculous stuff because, on one hand, they're virtue signaling that they love humanity. On the other, they're saying, I'm really wealthy and I deserve a Rolex. I deserve a Breitling. I deserve an IWC watch. I deserve that. I deserve that in my life. Meanwhile, I'm going to talk about, carbon emissions and how that's all terrible, but I'm going to buy a $45,000 watch and just wear it around, just wear it around. That's not a $45,000 watch, right? No, that is a fraction of that. Anyway, Swarovski among latest cluster of stores to flee San Francisco's largest mall. This came out 20 hours ago. Swarovski will close its San Francisco Center location on May 19th, joining a growing wave of retailers departing the beleaguered downtown mall. Boy, it is, and they're saying this is an accelerating exodus. Is it not? I mean, this is some like get out the popcorn. Oh, what's going to happen next? Who's going to leave next? And it's left the once bustling shopping center, the city's largest mall, largely vacant and struggling to regain its footing. It is not struggling. It is flat ass out on its back. Shoot me, put me out of my misery. We're done. And that's what's going to happen with the foreclosure. And so you've got a few tenants that are like, wow, that is some really cheap rent. We can make a go of that no matter what. You've got a few holdouts like that because everybody else has just booked it out, right? They've already left. I'd be really curious to know exactly who is left in Westfield Mall. The upscaler's jewelry departure follows the abrupt closure of APM Monaco last month and precedes the upcoming exit of fashion retailer John Varvatos. I've never heard of half of this crap. You know what I mean? But I go to Costco a whole lot more than I go to the mall. I buy stuff on Amazon now. I don't know. That's kind of the way it goes. I don't buy most of my clothes on Amazon, but, I don't think I'm in the fashion market for John Varvatos. I'm thinking no, but whatever. Varvatos has signed a lease for a 5,000 square foot space, 58 Geary Street, directly across from the mall and closer to Union Square. They're staying in the area. Because people know, all right, it's where I go shopping. Maybe not at that mall, but I'll go to this little store and they'll have their own private security. They'll be able to, cover that front door, cover that back door, so to speak, and provide a more secure shopping experience than having the folks pooping in the elevator. That's what they're doing. Here's a couple more just small tidbits. Court-appointed receiver now manages the mall, which is scheduled for $625.6 million lien auction. That is the debt on the property. See if somebody wants to pick up whatever of that. And that happens on June 17th. Its fourth such attempt. There's been delays, because what we talked about earlier, the judge, I guess we'll delay it. Despite the mounting vacancies, several national retailers, including, here's what I'm getting to, and this was the question, who's left? Well, we got Foot Locker. Does Foot Locker still exist? I think we've got one here in Bellevue Square, but really? Foot Locker? All right. Aritzia? I have no idea what that is. And H&M. that's young adult clothing, I think. I think I used to shop with my kids at H&M. I don't know. So those three stores, a Foot Locker, what does that take up? 4,000 or 5,000 square feet, and you got 1.5 million? Oof, yeah. Those, those are your big national retailers that are left. That's appalling. That's absolute craziness. But again, I think we're at the bottom end of the San Fran cycle. I really do. And I think what you're seeing here, this is just that velocity of stores leaving, others following, because you've got a situation where nobody wants to go to this mall in particular. It's had such a bad rap, and it's going to take some real turnaround to get there. It's going to take years to kind of get things back up and running. Get a new owner in there. New owner is going to be able to make things go because new blood, same plan. This was an amazing place to go shopping at one time. But you got to get some leadership in San Francisco that's going to actually clean things up. And I don't have any confidence in that whatsoever. But also, it's like, all right, podcasts for days, weeks, months, years. We're doing them right here on News for Reasonable People. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. And I'll see you on the next store closure at San Francisco's largest mall. Thanks for being here. See you in the next one. Bye for now.